The Skagit Valley each winter plays host to enormous flocks of migrating birds. We have huge flocks of swans, both tundra and trumpeter, and amazing flocks of lesser snow geese that come from Wrangel Island, Russia. Last winter we went up and we did a little filming to show you what it's like. What you're going to see is Fur Island. And frankly, the best place to find birds up there is to just drive around on the public roads and look from the public roads onto private farmland. There are 3 places that are maintained and owned by the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife. It's the North Skagit Fork access off of Rawlings Road, the Fur Island Reserve, which is pretty incredible, and we wrapped everything up at Wiley Slough. Behind me is one of the biggest draws for winter birding in the Skagit Valley, specifically Fur Island. These are lesser snow goose. They're from Wrangel Island, Russia. They make the 3,000-mile journey here every winter to overwinter, and then they go back and they have their young up in Wrangel Island. Why are these birds even here? These lesser snow geese and the trumpeter swans and the tundra swans and quite a few other raptors are down here from the far north, which is their breeding home grounds. They're down here during the winter because they need to find food and warmth. And one of the reasons this is such a great place is these fields provide nutrients and food for these guys. They fatten up. These guys in particular, 3,000-mile migration, they spend their winter eating, they need to get some stores and some muscle built up so they can fly home and breed. They're going to end up on an island where there's not a lot of vegetation and not a lot of food. Historically, Fur Island was a salt marsh. It's formed by 2 branches, 2 forks of the Skagit River. Decades ago, the perimeter was diked up all along to make this agricultural field. You can probably hear the tractor in the background, a good indication that this is a rural agricultural community. So to be a good neighbor, it's important that we don't trespass, we don't walk on fields. These are privately owned agricultural fields, and we need to stay on the road here. Something's got them on alert, and it's most probably an eagle in this tree here and an eagle in this tree here. And the eagle will try to eat these guys and the whole flock will lift up. Sometimes farmers don't want the geese in a particular field, so they use a decoy bald eagle. And you can see there's a few out in the field here. There's 2 there and then there's one over there. And as you can see, over there, they've totally ignored it. There are 2 little activities that you can be involved in with these snow geese. Number 1, quite a few of them have bands. And if you can send in their band numbers, they'll tell you how old these birds were and what year and month they hatched up in Wrangel Island. Number 2 is these geese have a dark morph. They're called blue geese. And they're not very common here. You look through the flock and try to find the dark blue morphs. Yeah, you think they're loud now? Wait till they lift off. This is also, if they fly over you, why we recommend that you wear a hat. These birds back here in the field are one of the most amazing comeback stories for birds in this area. These are trumpeter swans, and in, I think it was like 1939, according to BirdWeb, a survey stated that there were only 100 of these birds left south of Canada. This field alone has probably 500 or 600 in here. So, and this is just one field now. They've made an incredible, incredible comeback. Western Washington is one of their most heavily populated wintering grounds, and the Skagit Valley has over half of those birds. So we've been an incredible comeback here through the cessation of hunting, habitat restoration, and reintroduction. I like them, but I do wonder when I see them in the fields. People think of swans, they think of them as floating in a lake. And you come here in the winter, and half the time they're covered in muck because they've got their heads buried in the mud trying to find tubers. And what I've noticed up here, at least my observation is they're always with ducks. So they must have some kind of symbiotic relationship. And you can see there's some mallards out here, and there were some widgeons too. Despite being the most populous swan in the United States, there are far more tundra swans than trumpeter swans. In Washington State and in the Skagit Valley here, there are far fewer tundra swans than trumpeters. Right now we're at the Skagit Bay Estuary Unit. This is the North Fork access. It's at the very end of Rollins Road. There's no parking lot, there are no facilities, and it's not really ADA accessible. You have to walk up a pretty steep incline to get up here on the dike where we are. But once you get up, off the path and onto the dike, you've got this amazing vista of the estuary and Skagit Bay. There's pretty good birding here. There are harriers, the occasional short-eared owl, northern shrikes, the snow geese and swans. They overnight on the water. They fly over here. You can see some really nice shots of birds all over, and this is a year-round place to go, but during the winter it's an especially nice area. It is a hunting area though. The dike area that's available for us to walk on isn't much. It's only about 100 feet in that direction, and then it goes around this corner and then around one more corner, and then you're on private property again. So it's not a great hike if you want to stay on the dike. However, you can go down into this estuary, and there are paths that go through it. There's also a small little bridge that goes over a channel, and you can walk out to that island there on low tide. This is an extremely birdy area. It's a great place if you just kind of want to sit and see what comes to you, called Birding in Place. This might be a good place to do it. We're here at the Fur Island Farm Reserve, called the Farm or Hayden. It's got a lot of names over the years. Currently it is correct, the Fur Island Farm Reserve. This is a great place to stop. It has a parking lot, it has a porta potty. It also has adjacent fields where often the snow geese and the swans will land. This is a wonderful place to see shorebirds. There's resident eagles in a tree right next door here. Lots of eagles, lots of harriers, ducks, water birds, pretty much everything. There's a pretty dependable resident winter northern shrike who hangs out around here. ADA accessible parking. There's easy short trail that's paved or graveled. It's just a nice place to stop, and it's a great place for early morning and late afternoon birding. This place is also a wonderful area to watch raptors in. There's the resident eagle family over here, and there's always like 3 to 4 juvenile eagles hanging around. But behind us we've got a nice little flock of green-winged teals, which are a very small little duck. I'm always so surprised at how small teals are as opposed to, say, like a mallard. They're one of the few calls that I always recognize. They have a little peep. Right now we're at the Skagit Wildlife Area Headquarters Unit, otherwise known as Wiley Slough. This is a fantastic area to bird, even though it doesn't offer easy views of the geese or the swans. It's got a 2-mile trail, easily walked dike trail. It's extremely birdy. It has one of the highest bird counts in the Skagit Valley area. Shorebirds, ducks, geese, raptors. There's actually a black phoebe that's supposedly rare that nests here, so we have regular occurrences of that. Well, I think that was a great day up in Fur Island. We saw some great birds. I hope everybody enjoyed the birds that we did have a chance to view. Get out there and bird. Winter comes, it's a great place to bird. There are fewer leaves, it's easier to see the birds, and it's a great chance to see migrating birds from different areas. I can't see past my boob. Okay, give me a break here. I got a built-in thing where I can't see. Okay.